Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It looks like we got some pretty big news that dropped in the last couple days for WWE 2K26, a Switch 2 version of some WWE 2K game, and the Netflix game. Anyway, then there's a bunch of other stuff going on too, so let's get right to it. So, first thing I want to talk about is Strauss Zelnick, the CEO of Take-Two, claims or says, and it's come from him, obviously he's the CEO, he knows what's going on. He says that WWE 2K, doesn't say 2K25 or 2K26, he says WWE 2K is coming to the Switch 2 this summer. So what does that mean exactly? Does that mean we're getting the mobile version that's coming to Netflix, or is the Netflix thing a completely separate thing? And are we getting a version of 2K25? What I hope is happening is that we're getting, like, Nintendo's getting its own thing. It's getting its own game, maybe with different gameplay, like the old days, like where the GameCube got the Day of Reckoning series or the WrestleMania 19 series. We'll just call it the Day of Reckoning series because that one got a sequel. And the PlayStation had the SmackDown series. The Xbox had the terrible Raw series, which really sucks because the Xbox was the most powerful system and they got the worst of the three. So I'm very curious if that's what's going to be the case here. And if it is, I am ecstatic because I loved the original Switch. The Switch was, let's face it, it sucked for wrestling games. Like, the only wrestling game that you can consider a wrestling game on the system is AEW Fight Forever. It has some other, like, really indie wrestling games, but, like, to even compare anything to 2K, AEW Fight Forever was the only thing we had for an entire 8 years. Nobody else brought a wrestling game to the system, and that sucks. Like, the Switch had so many different games on it, so many genres it hit, and it's still, in the world of wrestling, after coming from the 64 generation, the GameCube, where wrestling was rampant on there, it really sucks that the Switch, one of the biggest consoles in the history of all consoles, sales-wise, has like one good wrestling game, or decent wrestling game. I'm not going to say that AEW is good. So I'm really, really hopeful that because of the fact that the Switch is not as powerful as the PS6, or the PS6, the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, maybe they're doing it this way so that the Switch gets its own version of the game. Otherwise, what's to stop them from continually bringing out the game on PS4 and Xbox One? Because on this earnings call, they have a list of, and they show the games that are coming to each system or whatever, but it doesn't say what platforms 2K26 is coming to. So we still don't know all the details, but I would like to think that the Switch 2, because the hardware is not as powerful as the PlayStation 5 or the PlayStation, or I keep saying the PS6, or the Xbox Series X, I'm guessing that they're going to try to make two different versions of the game. And that's good because then they can release it at different times. Maybe we're getting one wrestling game for the Nintendo Switch 2, and they're just going to build off of that for the life of the Switch. I would 100% switch to that game, no pun intended, because it'd probably run and it'd probably function a lot better. So if they're not going to do the yearly release thing on the Switch, I'm actually okay with that, because as long as they keep supporting the game, they can literally milk the Switch version forever, while the other versions keep utilizing the new technology. Because I feel like 2K26, if the Switch 2 version is any indication of what's going on, I feel like 2K26 is going to be next gen, or should I say current gen exclusive, finally. They have to drop the PS4 and Xbox One. If the next 2K26 comes to the PS4 and the Xbox One, it's going to be exactly the same as 2K25, with probably just new MyRise, new, maybe like one or two new features. It's going to have all the same creation parts, it's going to look the same. I have a feeling like if they don't drop it, it's just going to be the same game. All right, now, next thing. As we just said, 2K26 is already in development. Duh, as soon as they're probably working on it before the 2K25 even released. Because that time frame is so short between games, obviously they're working on it already. I don't know why anybody thinks that's, oh my god, it's newsworthy. They're working on the next game already. Of course they are. I'm like, duh. Ugh. Anyway. The next thing I want to talk about, and this is very concerning, and we all saw this happening a mile away because a lot of the casual crowd doesn't follow social media. They don't follow all of us. There's a lot of casuals out there to just buy one game and that's it. They just spend all their money on that one game. Now what I'm getting at here is during their earnings call, the island increased virtual currency spending or microtransaction spending by 20%. So in my opinion, we're kind of screwed, and we're going to see probably all creation parts that are new will probably be locked to the island mode next year. And for me, being a guy who likes to create his original wrestlers, that's going to suck. Because I have a big feeling, a pit in my stomach, that they're going to take parts that we've had unlocked for years, and they're just going to lock them to the island and say they're new, and not actually create new creation parts. And there is going to be a point where they have so many creation parts that on the back end, it's not going to be able to support them all, and it's going to make the game crash and all kinds of stuff. So that's a really slippery slope on how that's going to function. Maybe they'll have it to where you can use the in-game wrestlers for the island. You don't have to make your own. That way you can just level up, let's say, John Cena or Cody Rhodes or Ultimate Warrior or whoever you want to use in the mode. I would be okay with that. That'd be kind of fun playing with one of the real wrestlers, since there's no spoken dialogue. It really depends on what they're trying to accomplish other than emptying our wallets and pockets for the island mode. So the fact that in its unfinished state, in my opinion, that it did that well. And we're not even close to the end of the year. Who knows how much more spending will be done on that mode. So the island mode is here to stay. And unfortunately, so is my faction. I'm very worried that they're going to focus on those two modes mostly, while everything else on the back end, like the creation suite itself, community creations, I don't think cross community creations is ever coming back. I think that's killed dead. They ripped the Band-Aid off this year and blamed hardware limitations of the old consoles. No, they 100% did it because of the modders giving away stuff for free and basically modding everything into the game. So that's why they blocked PC. And what's funny is they've already figured out how to put stuff in the game anyway. So they're probably going to be a lot more strict with it next year. All I know is that cross-platform community creations is probably going away for good. So don't expect to see that next year. They haven't said anything like that, but I have a feeling that's going to be the thing. All right, and the last thing I want to talk about in this video is Netflix WWE 2K game is still coming out later this year. And I was curious, I've never really played any wrestling game on the phone other than WWE Immortals, which I think should have been like a console game, because that game was freaking awesome. It mixed the Mortal Kombat style of fighting, but made it with wrestlers. And the wrestlers all had a Mortal Kombat theme. They all had this awesome gimmick, and it was really fantasy style, and it was really, really cool. I want a wrestling game like that. Maybe that's what we're getting on the Switch. That would be awesome. I know a lot of people will be like, what the heck is this crap? Blah, blah, blah. I want my authentic wrestling game. Well, we need both. What I hope happens is that 2K26 also comes to the Switch, along with whatever the heck game is coming out this year. We can have both games, right? I don't understand why they think we only need one. If you want to make more money, make more games. Don't try to cram everything into one game and then anyway, that's just me. I know more modes the merrier, but when you focus so much on microtransactions in a paid game, that's for some of us, we spend the full 140 or 150 every year. Kind of it's like a knife to the chest. It's like, oh yeah, give me some more. Oh geez, it's like, why? I never spend any more money on the game after that initial purchase, because I already spent $150 in the game. Why would I spend another $150 or more on virtual currency when I know for a fact everything is going to start over next year? And I know I'm going to see it in my comments. Is there a way to transfer my island character to 2K26? No. You're going to start over, and you're going to have to rebuy all the new creation parts. Nothing is going to carry over. And I could scream that on the screen until I'm blue in the face. It's not going to do any good, because the casual fan doesn't keep up with these things and they don't realize what's going on. And so things will never change. However, out of all this news, it's not all bad. I feel like I'm really excited about the Switch 2 version because, like I said, I've got my pre-order in and everything. I'm ready for the Switch 2. I even started a Switch channel. Make sure you go check it out. It's not doing too well because there's 8 zillion people covering the Switch 2, but I still enjoy covering stuff going on with the Switch. I'm not doing every little bit of news type thing. I'm just trying to do videos that interest me, like Nintendo 64 games that we should get on the Switch app, with the expansion pass, games that I'm shocked still aren't on there. Why the game keycards aren't necessarily all bad. Yes, the fact that the game is not on the cartridge is terrible, but in the future, the way the future's going, the fact that you can still trade it in and sell it is a good thing. So go check out those videos. My Switch Strizer, or what is it? Switch, I don't even know my own channel's name. Switch Strizer channel. Oy. Anyway, thank you for watching. Sound comments below. Are you excited for the Switch 2 2K wrestling game? Because I sure am. But knowing our luck, it's probably just 2K25 like plus or something. We'll find out in a few months. Anyway, as I was saying, thank you for watching and stay frosty. One last thing real quick, I forgot to mention and address the Tyrese 317 lazy ass character model for one of the NBA players coming to the next pack with Kali and Abyss. If this is the models that we're going to get, the level of effort, I feel like it's just a waste of time. And I'm telling you, man, like these celebrities things, they're starting to get to me. Like if he was in his full basketball gear, that's a little better. But when he's just wearing a black t-shirt that says Tyrese 317, just so that they could try to sell it on the WWE shop.com, that's ridiculous. You can have it in there as like an alternate attire, but for the love of God, have his NBA jersey in there. Unless the NBA doesn't want their stuff in the game, which is stupid because, well, 2K owns the license to make NBA games. It'll never cease to amaze me. And I have a feeling that next year we're going to have more celebrity packs and more celebrity packs. It's not about wrestling anymore. It's about culture. It's about social media. It's about branding. It's not about wrestling. Wrestling, the WWE wrestling is just, it's a machine now. It's a money machine, and they don't, like, at the end of the day, it's all about the money. I'm speechless. Anyway, once again, thank you for watching. How do you feel about Tyrese 317? And as always, stay frosty once again.